Hey guys, today I'm gonna react to this video, Mark Zuckerberg's daily routine. I've done two videos already of uh, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' daily routine. It's pretty interesting about those two is so Elon Musk is all about being time efficient and working like a crazy amount of hours. Um, but it's interesting. Jeff Bezos is actually more like focused on life balance and not working like crazy amount of hours. So I'm kind of curious to see what route Mark Zuckerberg takes. If he takes the extreme end like Elon Musk and just works a lot, or if he's gonna do the more kind of laid back approach, or more like work life balance like Jeff Bezos. So I guess we'll see uh, what his daily routine's like.
Mark Zuckerberg rose from an anonymous student at Harvard University to one of the world's richest people in a few short years.
Oh, yeah,
he founded
crazy.
Facebook in his dorm room when he was only 19 years old. By the time Zuckerberg was 23, he was a billionaire. So how does this
That's so insane. 40 years. I'm like, ugh, it's crazy.
tech titan spend his money and his time? Today we're looking at a day in the life of Mark Zuckerberg. Compared to other
I wonder if he ever had like a regular job. Because it was like, they said from 19 is when he started Facebook to 23 he was a billionaire. That's crazy.
tech CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg is not a workaholic. He typically spends 50 to 60 hours a week in the office,
Oh,
though
nice.
he admits he spends most of his free time thinking of ways to improve Facebook. Believe it or not, Zuckerberg is his own best customer. He generally wakes up at 8 a.m. and immediately starts scrolling on Facebook and WhatsApp, both companies that he owns. It's a pretty sad situation, to be honest. I have contacts and I can't see very well, and before I put my contacts in, I often look to see what is going on in Facebook, revealed Zuckerberg in an interview. Although Zuckerberg doesn't look like a bodybuilder, physical fitness is extremely important to
really?
him.
That's
After
crazy.
putting
I would never guess that. Not to judge somebody based on how they look, but I didn't realize he was super into being athletic.
his phone down, Zuckerberg goes for a run. Staying in shape is very important. Doing anything well requires energy, and you just have a lot more energy when you're fit, he said during a Q&A.
Oh, yeah.
I make sure I work out at least 3 times a week, usually first thing when I wake up. I also try to take my dog running whenever I can, which has the added bonus of being hilarious because that's basically like seeing a mop run. The dog in question is an adorable
The first picture, I thought it was a mob. I thought they were just making fun.
pulley named Beast. This strange-looking creature really looks like a sentient mop, and Beast now has more than 2.5 million followers on Facebook. After going for a run, the Facebook founder gets dressed for the day. He has an interesting philosophy surrounding fashion and wears identical shorts, jeans, socks, and shoes every day. Zuckerberg claims this helps him concentrate on more important tasks. I really want to clear my life to make it so that I have to make as few decisions as possible about anything except how to best serve this community, Zuckerberg explained. I'm in this
I totally agree. With my life personally, I like to like anything that's like I don't really need to make it to think about. I would rather just make it super simple and not worry about it. Like it's kind of funny. I do something similar to him where I kind of wear like the same clothes every day or stuff that's similar because I just don't want to have to worry about it.
really lucky position where I get to wake up every day and help serve more than 1 billion people. And I feel like I'm not doing my job if I spend any of my energy on things that are silly or frivolous about my life. Similarly, Zuckerberg doesn't put too much thought into his diet. He eats breakfast every morning, but he isn't very picky. He generally eats whatever his wife Priscilla Chan eats. Rather than hiring a butler, Zuckerberg relies on a custom-made artificially intelligent assistant in his $7 million, 5,000 square foot Palo Alto compound. His AI assistant helps him plan for the day and alerts him to important meetings and events. He then checks in with his team of 12 employees who...
in this day and age with our phone is pretty much like a private assistant. I always ask use my phone to like set reminders because there's no point of hiring an assistant.
Onto his personal social media. They delete inappropriate comments and post on behalf of Mr. Zuckerberg. In his free time, Mark Zuckerberg likes to challenge his mind. He is picking up Mandarin and is approaching fluency. This also helps him to communicate with business leaders in China. He is also a voracious reader. In 2015, he tried to finish a book every 2 weeks on top of his sizable workload. Unlike other tech leaders, Zuckerberg isn't afraid to take some time off. He frequently travels with his family and owns two $60 million Lake Tahoe estates, in addition to a $100 million plantation on Kauai in Hawaii. The 357-acre former sugarcane plantation includes 2,500 feet of white sand beach and has a working organic farm ripe with crops including ginger, turmeric, and papaya. The farm is also home to goats and turtles, according to Zuckerberg's Facebook page. This massive property is zoned to build 80 different homes, but Zuckerberg only has one deluxe mansion. Most of his properties are surrounded by undeveloped land in order to maintain privacy for him and his family.
Wow,
the Hawaii compound has a relatively modest 2-bedroom house and a 16-car garage. It's unclear why Zuckerberg requires such a large garage.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what cars he has. It'd be interesting if they talk about it.
He is notoriously uninterested in cars, despite his sizable fortune. He owns several cars, but most of them are standard sedans that would not be out of place in any American suburb. For instance, Zuckerberg owns a Volkswagen Golf, Honda Fit, Acura TSX, and Infiniti G. During his travels, Zuckerberg frequently...
That's crazy. Out of all the cars he could possibly have, he has like the most like generic cars you could get.
meets with world leaders like the Pope, former President Trump, and French President Emmanuel Macron. Believe it or not, Zuckerberg is close personal friends with Hollywood strongman Vin Diesel. The Fast and Furious star stated, "It's at a point where if Mark and I are together and if I quote a line from a character I played and I do it slightly wrong, he'll correct me. It's embarrassing." In the early days of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg would stay up all night coding. In fact, when Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg joined the company, Zuckerberg thought she was ill when she went to bed at 9:30 p.m. But these days, Zuckerberg has 2 young children and he generally gets to sleep early. When it's time for bed, Zuckerberg recites a Jewish prayer called Mi Sheberach to his children. This helps both father and child prepare for the next day. All the way back in 2010...
That's like kind of puzzling. I wonder if... Is he Jewish? That's crazy. I wonder why he reads that poem. Interesting.
Mark Zuckerberg signed the Giving Pledge, a non-binding agreement started by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett that encourages billionaires to give away 99% of their wealth during their lifetime. However, in the last 11 years since he signed the pledge, Zuckerberg's net worth has grown from $6 billion to $130 billion.
What?
Many of Zuckerberg's critics believe that big tech should pay its fair share in taxes rather than relying on charitable giving. Then in 2015, another scandal disrupted Zuckerberg's public image. Rather than donating billions to a non-profit, the Facebook founder was merely placing funds in an LLC which he owned. This is a common trick used by billionaires to avoid taxes, but it stood in direct contrast to Zuckerberg's claim of giving away his fortune. According to ProPublica reporter Jesse Eisinger, a charitable foundation is subject to rules and oversight. It has to allocate a certain percentage of its assets every year. The new Zuckerberg LLC won't be subject to those rules and won't have any transparency requirements. Most recently, Zuckerberg donated $250 million to the Center for Tech and Civic Life, a non-profit which focuses on election safety and security.
Interesting.
Growing up, Zuckerberg showed an affinity for technology. He started coding when he was only 12 years old and built a...
That's crazy, 12 years old? What? Like, I can barely code at now, and he started when he was 12, in a time period where it wasn't common for coding. Man, that's crazy.
Messaging service for his dad to use at his dentistry practice. While he was still in high school, Zuckerberg started taking computer science courses at nearby Mercy College. When his parents hired him a coding tutor, the graduate student said that it was hard to stay ahead of Zuckerberg because he was such a prodigy. Companies like AOL and Microsoft approached Zuckerberg with job opportunities, but he turned them all down, choosing to pursue his studies at Harvard University. Now, Zuckerberg is officially on top of the world. Although his businesses have been mired with controversy, people can't seem to stay off Facebook. There are more than 2.8 billion active users on the service, 1.8 billion of which are daily users. The company made $27 billion in ad revenue in the last quarter of 2020 alone, and the company shows no signs of slowing down. Although Mark Zuckerberg has only a $1 annual salary, he is currently the 5th richest person on Earth. Love him or hate him, Mark Zuckerberg's daily routine seems to be working.
Wow, that's crazy. It kind of, yeah, like, I mean, kind of surprised me. I mean, there's a lot of things in there that I would never guess. I thought he was gonna be a workaholic, Elon Musk, but I guess he's not. He's more balanced. I mean, 50, 60 hours isn't like a crazy amount. And the thing that really shocked me was that he was like really into fitness. I know he was skinny, but I thought that was just him naturally. I didn't realize he works out a lot and runs. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. His day routine, like comparing it to the others. So I mean, it just proves that you don't. I mean, with Elon Musk, he wants to work like crazy, but it proves that you don't have to. Like, it shows that you can be more work life balance. You don't have to be a maniac to do well. So you just have to find a different approach. And so it's pretty interesting. So hopefully I get to review more of these people's daily routines. So I mean, I liked it. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe, and thank you very much.